Yes, guys, welcome to a brand new live stream. My name is Conan, and today we're going to be talking about success leaves clues. This is something I talk about all the time with my clients, and it's something that I personally use all the time as well to help me not only crush my health and fitness goals, but then also crush my business goals, my relationship goals, my finance goals, any goal that I have set for myself. I always kind of gravitate towards this. Success leaves clues. This is a quote that I actually got from one of my mentors who I worked with in the past, and it's just it's one of these things where it's really easy to remember, and it kind of stuck with me as I learned about it. So I have a couple bullet points that I want to touch on here, and then all throughout this live stream, if you guys have any specific questions for me, whether it's fitness wise, health wise, specifically fat loss wise, let me know and I'll do my absolute best to answer it for you. So hopefully everyone's having a great start to the week so far. It is Tuesday. We are less than 3 months away from the end of 2025. It seems like this year absolutely flew by, and hopefully you guys absolutely crush your health and fitness goals. And if not, please do not let 2026, the new year, new me, be an excuse for you not to start now, right? Because a lot of people will tell themselves like, oh, like it's already October, Halloween's coming up, and then we got Thanksgiving, and then we got Christmas, like so many holidays are coming up. I'm just gonna wait until the new year for me to actually start. But that is the worst thing that you could possibly do. The best time to start was actually yesterday, and the second best time to start is today. Like, no excuses. So let's dive into why success leaves clues. So winners, people who win, do not guess, they track. You cannot improve what you don't measure, and if you're not tracking your progress, you're leaving success to chance. Another one of my favorite quotes is, if you ain't tracking, you are slacking. And that implies with your food intake. If you're not tracking your food intake, you have no idea what you're eating, and you're just leaving weight loss and fat loss to chance. I don't know about you, but if I'm trying to lose body fat, I want to know for sure that with all the work and effort I'm putting into my diet and my meal prep, that I'm actually getting the results I'm looking for, because I do not want to be spinning my wheels in circles. Same thing applies with the workouts that I do. I want to make sure that I'm getting stronger over time, that I'm making improvements. When I did my marathon, of course, I tracked my runs because I wanted to make sure that I did not just go through the motions and kind of like check it off the list. I wanted to make sure that I actually put in the effort and put in the work to help me get my sub 3:15 marathon time, right? And that would not be possible if I did not track my data. So once again, if you ain't tracking, you, my friend, are slacking. So number one, the core principle: success leaves patterns, habits, behaviors, and decisions that produce results. Tracking exposes those patterns, letting you double down on what works and cut out what doesn't. Every top athlete, CEO, and performer collects data, whether it's their weight, their sleep, their revenue, their daily steps, their calories, and their habits, right? Because if you do not keep track of it, you don't actually know what's working or not, right? And I tell my clients this all the time, like, hey, if you had a really successful day of, let's say, for example, eating, take note of that. Literally write down exactly what you ate from breakfast all the way down to dinner, including the snacks, even the hydration you had as well. And if you can, try to replicate that, because you have literal proof now that, hey, I know I can follow a specific plan. I know I can hit my calories. I know I can hit my macros because I have just done it, right? And then all you're going to have to do if you want to have successful days leading up or following that, just replicate that, right? It's like, okay, I just had an amazing day of eating. I had my calories to a T. I had my macros to a T. I just did everything to a T. I felt good. I felt energized. I had a great mood as well. I crushed my workout. Take note of that. Literally write down. Sometimes I get really neurotic with this too, just so I have a basic understanding of, okay, what time did I wake up that day? What time did I eat my breakfast? What did I eat for breakfast? How much water did I drink? What seasonings did I use? Like super just specific, right? What condiments did I use? Once again, at what times did I eat? How did I feel after eating it? Did I feel bloated? Did I feel lethargic, right? Like write all of these things down, because now that you know that you can be successful, all you're gonna have to do is just kind of replicate that. And same thing applies with if something's not working, right? Let's say, for example, you had a horrible day of eating, or you missed your workout, or you had a cheat meal, right? It's like, okay, well, what led me to me cheating on my diet? Oh, it was because I went out with my friends and they kind of peer pressured me to have this slice of pizza, and then one slice of pizza led me to having a handful of chips, and then that handful of chips led me to having this ice cream, and then before you know it, I completely just lost track and I just ate everything in sight. It's like, okay, awesome. So now what we can do is we can actually reverse engineer and say, okay, every time I go out with this specific group of friends, I tend to always cheat on my diet. I tend to always binge on my diet. So if I want to not cheat on my diet, if I do not want to binge on my diet, I should probably not be around this group of people who incentivize me or who promote me or who push me or pressure me to cheat on my diet. And one thing I had to do from the very start of my own health and fitness journey is cut out all the people who were not aligned with my goals. I know it's a harsh kind of thing to say, and a lot of people are not willing to do that, which is totally fine. You'll just have to accept that you'll either stay stuck in your current situation or you're just gonna make your life a whole lot more miserable. Because I don't know about you, but I want to make my health and fitness goals a lot easier to achieve than a lot harder, right? And it was a lot hard for me to achieve my health and fitness goals when I was hanging around people who were smoking all the time, partying all the time, eating junk food all the time, or just lazy and not working out and not doing anything that I wanted to do, right? Whereas when I cut those people out, it wasn't like cold turkey. It was slowly but surely, like I did my thing, they did their thing, and then slowly but surely we kind of drifted apart, which I think is more of a natural, normal thing for kind of old friendships to kind of happen, right? You don't have to cut it out completely, but over time it's just a natural thing where you kind of like drift away, right? They'll do their own thing, you'll do your own thing. And I just noticed that me hitting my goals was a lot easier because now that I wasn't surrounded by, honestly, this bad influence, I kind of did my own thing for a while. And then over time, because I was now the fitness guy, I was now going to the gym, I was now bringing my meal prep, I started to actually attract people who were doing the same thing as me, which is incredible, right? And that is why I'm also a big believer in not being someone who you truly deep down aren't really. Like if you're just trying to have this specific persona just to like try and fit in, right? Like keeping up with the Joneses, or just like doing specific behaviors that you like, it's not true to yourself just so you can impress other people who you deep down don't even want to be around. It's like, why do you do that? It's like you're far better off going through life just being yourself so that you can detract the people who are not aligned with what you want to do and your goals, and so that you can actually attract, right, gain people that are aligned with your goals, right? So for example, when I lived in Austin, Texas this past summer, I went to a bunch of run clubs and I just met so many like-minded people who were also into running, which is incredible, right? Whereas I did not go to bars because I myself don't enjoy drinking, I don't like alcohol, I don't like going to bars, and so if I forced myself to go there, I would just attract people who enjoy drinking and enjoy going out every weekend, but I myself don't actually enjoy doing that. So put yourself in an environment where people have similar goals as you, or at least have aligned goals as you, so that you achieving your goals is a lot easier. Because once again, being around people who have the same goals as you just makes it a lot easier for you to also hit your goals, right? Whereas if you're around people who do not have the same goals as you, it just makes it 10 times harder, right? So keep that in mind. Number 2, why tracking works, and also the science behind tracking. So here's kind of like the feedback loop that I want you to visualize whenever you track. Tracking creates a real-time loop between action, then feedback, then adjustment. So in psychology, this is called self-regulation, or a self-regulating mechanism. So you basically align your behavior with your goals. So here's what it looks like. Dopamine plus reward system. Tracking your progress, whether it's weight loss, hitting PRs, sales, whatever, gives a dopamine hit that reinforces positive action. This keeps motivation intrinsic rather than emotional or sporadic. And then also the cognitive bias that is involved here. We overestimate effort and underestimate consistency. Data keeps you objective and it doesn't lie, right? So every time you track something and you notice that these are the numbers that I need to hit in order for me to reach my goals, you just know exactly what numbers to hit in order to reach your goals, right? For example, if you're tracking your calories, if you're tracking your macros, if you know that if I eat 2,000 calories, I'm gonna be in a 500 calorie deficit, and after a week, I have lost 1 pound of fat. And so instead of relying on your emotions or leaving things to chance, You don't even have to do any of that. You just have to follow the science, follow the data, basically, right? It's like, okay, I just ate 2,000 calories for the entire week, hit my macros too, hit my protein goals, whatever, and I lost 1 pound a week. If I want to have another week where I lose another pound, what should I do? Well, I should probably do what I did last week. I should probably eat 2,000 calories again, and therefore I will lose another pound. And just keep on repeating that process until it doesn't work anymore. Then you make some adjustments by still obviously tracking it. And then from there, keep on making progress, right? Whereas if you don't track your numbers, don't track your progress, and you hit a plateau, you're just gonna be frustrated and ask yourself, why am I stuck? But it really should not be something that you should be like worrying about or thinking about if you had initially actually tracked your progress. So make sure with any goal that you have, like I see so many people like tell me like, oh Conan, like I want to lose weight, I want to get into the best shape possible. I'm like, okay, awesome. What is your game plan? Like, what are your calories going to be? What are your macros going to be? What are your workouts going to look like? How much sleep are you going to get? They're like, oh, I don't know. It's like, well, dude, how do you expect to actually accomplish your weight loss goal if you're not going to keep track of the numbers? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's just such a logical thing, right? And that's why we have all of our clients inside of our program. We have them track their numbers. We do weekly check-ins where we track their weight. We track their progress pictures. We track their performance in the gym. Are they getting stronger or not? Are they hitting PRs in the gym? Are they adding more weight? Are they improving their form? Are they adding more reps over time, right? Like, if you're not keeping track of these numbers, it also makes it really difficult to improve on those numbers. Because if you go into the gym every single day and you don't log your numbers, you don't know how much weight you're using, you don't know how much weight you used last week, well, how do you know how much weight to use this week? Like, you don't, right? You're just kind of like going based off feel. And we all know that your emotions, or at least hopefully we all know that we should not let our emotions dictate our behavior, because our emotions, like, we are emotional creatures, especially females, but even guys as well, right? Like, sometimes we can if we do let our emotions dictate our behavior, like, especially for me, like, if I were to do that, I probably will not be as consistent on my fitness goal. Like, I cannot remember the last time I was like motivated to do a workout, or motivated to track my calories, or motivated to eat healthy. It just part of my identity now. It's just part of what I do. But if I simply relied on my emotions, specifically motivation, in order for me to get in shape and stay in shape, like, I would not be successful. I would probably be a lazy sack of potatoes, because if I really, like, genuinely, honestly, just followed my emotions, like right now, like, I'll be honest, like, I want to eat some, like, I wouldn't say I want to eat junk food, but like, if I really listen to my emotions, like, for example, I would probably be eating a pizza right now, laying on a couch, for example, right? Like, I'd probably be doing that because those are my emotions. But because I don't listen to my emotions, and I listen to the goals that I have, and I measure my progress, and I look at the plan that I have in hand, I just show up and do what is required of me. I don't do based off feel, I do it based off what is required of me. And what is required of me is showing up to the gym, tracking my food, getting my sleep in, regardless of how I feel. Because if you go off emotions, you're probably not going to be as consistent as you could have been had you had just followed the numbers, right? So, point number 3, the psychology of awareness. What gets measured gets managed, like I said at the start of this live call. And what gets ignored gets worse. There's actually been a study shown that people who they did nothing other than track their body weight every single day. They did not even worry about their diet. They didn't worry about their step counts or their exercise routine. They simply had fat people weigh themselves every single day. And what this study showed is that they subconsciously started losing weight. And you want to know why? It's because they started tracking their weight. And by simply just keeping track of certain things, anything really, you just make subconscious decisions throughout the day to improve on those numbers. Like, if you never weigh yourself, you're not even gonna think about your weight, and you're likely just gonna keep on gaining weight. But if you just simply keep track of your weight, you will more than likely start losing weight just by simply keeping track of your weight, which is amazing, right? It kind of goes to show you that, okay, if I actually want to improve on something, right? Like we've discussed on this live stream, whether it is with my weight or whether it is with my food intake, The easiest thing you can start doing is just keeping track of it. If you want to improve, I don't know, if you want to improve your sales skills, just keep track of your sales stats. Just keep track of it, and then over time, you'll probably get better at sales. If you want to improve your weight, weigh yourself every single day, and you'll probably start losing weight, right? And so without data, your brain fills gaps with stories. I'm doing everything right. I'm eating healthy, etc. But when you track, just... I apologize, my phone just fell. Let me put you back here. That was very, very awkward. But like I said, when you track, those stories get replaced by the truth. Data does not lie. It does not lie, right? The simple act of writing something down, whether it's food, workouts, wins, increases awareness and accountability. Going back to my previous example of the study of the fat people who weigh themselves, the simple act of them just writing down their weight every single morning increased their awareness and also subconsciously kind of held them accountable because they know exactly, okay, I weighed this last week, this is what I weighed yesterday, this is what I weighed today. And it kind of holds them accountable, right? Seeing the weights kind of like fluctuate and stuff. So yeah, biggest hack that I can give you right now, if you want to improve something, just start keeping track of it. Going to number 4, how to apply this in fitness. So here's an example. Here's what I want you to keep track of, specifically fitness-wise. Your weight trend, right? Weekly averages, not daily fluctuations. Your weight will definitely fluctuate day to day, but if your goal is weight loss, the weekly averages and especially the monthly averages, they should definitely be trending downwards, right? Because if not, then you're definitely not losing weight. Don't be too concerned with the day-to-day fluctuations because, yeah, daily fluctuations are actually really normal and honestly to be expected. So one morning you could wake up at 150 pounds, the next morning it could be 151, 152, followed by 148. Like those fluctuations certainly happen. I have some of my clients who have insane water fluctuations day by day. And so we're not too concerned about that. And instead we want to make sure that we take the weekly average and making sure that that goes down, and especially the monthly averages, right? Because if that goes down, then we certainly know that we're on the right track, right? And these fluctuations can happen due to, especially if you're female, hormonal fluctuations. But like for guys, like, I'm getting distracted by these comments. I'm sorry, but it could be due to maybe you had a super heavy meal the night before, despite hitting your calories and macros. Maybe you just kind of like delayed your meals later on in the day. So you had this big meal for dinner and then you woke up the next morning slightly more bloated because the food hasn't fully digested yet. Maybe you had too much water to drink yesterday or too little water to drink. Maybe you weighed yourself at an earlier time. I noticed for myself that whenever I weigh myself at 6 a.m. versus 8 a.m., just a 2-hour difference, it can actually make a pretty big difference. Like it's usually like 1 or 2 pounds difference there. So even like the time of day you weigh yourself, and make sure that when you do weigh yourself, just a quick little tip here, do not weigh yourself after eating something, after drinking something, with your clothes on, in the middle of the day. Don't do that. You're obviously gonna be heavier. So make sure whenever you weigh yourself that you're always weighing yourselves under the same condition. And that's, if you want to be super accurate, should mean that you weigh yourself first thing in the morning, on an empty stomach, before drinking, before eating anything, in a fasted state, naked with no clothes on. Because once you eat something, once you drink something, once you have your clothes on, once it's in the middle of the day, of course you're going to be slightly heavier due to the clothes you're wearing or due to the water you drank or due to the food you ate, right? So to keep everything as consistent and as accurate as possible, just weigh yourself first thing in the morning before eating and drinking anything, just so you have the most accurate number when it comes to your weight, right? So that's the first thing I want you to weigh or measure. Second thing is steps. So keep track of your daily steps. I have a step tracker here. Super cheap one. You don't need to get a super fancy, expensive one. You can get the cheapest one that you can find. I got mine 5 years ago off Amazon for 50 bucks. It is probably the greatest investment I have ever made, not just on my fitness journey, but like in life in general. It's waterproof, super durable. I charge it maybe once every 2 weeks or so. Great battery life. It does some other things too, like you keep track of your sleep, your heart rate, all these things. But I simply use it to keep track of my daily steps. It honestly holds me accountable too, because right now, let's say for example, it is 11 a.m. I'm at around 8,000 steps, and I know exactly, okay, I got 12,000 steps left to take for the rest of the day, right? So I know exactly where I'm at step count wise, right? So this just kind of makes sure that you're staying active throughout the day. So keep track of your daily steps if you can, either through one of these little watches or using your phone. Just your phone is a bit annoying because you do kind of need your phone on you at all times, whereas this, you can just put it on your wrist and not really have to worry about it. Third thing is keep track of your calories and your macronutrients. Know your intake, do not guess, right? Have a free app, MyFitnessPal, that's something that I use and all of my clients use as well. You don't need the premium version, just get the free version, and just at the very least, just keep track of it, right? You can start off nice and easy. You don't need to measure everything on like a food scale, but definitely as you get deeper into your health and fitness journey, and if you want to be super accurate, definitely advise you to use a digital food scale. Don't use those old school measuring cups because those can be very inaccurate. Use a digital food scale because that'll give you the accurate representation to the gram of how much you're actually eating. And especially if you notice that you're in a plateau and you think you're eating the amount of calories you think you're eating, you're realistically probably not, right? So if you actually keep track of it accurately, you'll know exactly that, okay, I'm hitting these numbers. And if you still are hitting a plateau, then you can make adjustments. But make sure that you do everything accurately before you do even consider making adjustments, because you'd be surprised. You may be thinking you're eating 2,000 calories, but if you actually measure everything, including the condiments, the juices, the creamers, the sugars, all these sneaky little things, the licks, the tastes, unless you're keeping track of all of that, you're probably eating way more than you may anticipate, honestly. Which leads me to the fourth thing: keep track of your sleep hours and stress levels. Identify recovery gaps. You don't have to be super on top of it, but just roughly keep track of how many hours you sleep. Nowadays there's so many like sleeping trackers that you use. I personally don't have one of them. I just kind of keep track of when I went to bed and when I woke up. Simple as that. And then lastly, keep track of your wins and struggles. So end of week reflections, sit down, have a notepad, and just write down some of the wins, right? This week, I want to celebrate me sticking with my diet this entire week. Or this week, I did a great job hitting all my workouts. Or this week, I did a great job at work, whatever it may be, right? Like just keep track of your wins, and then also keep track of your struggles. This week, I really struggled with sticking with my diet. This week, I really struggled with my diet whenever I go out to a social event, for example, right? Just keep track of all these things. What worked, and then also what didn't. And then over time, you'll kind of have a better understanding of the things that actually work for you versus the things that maybe did not work so much for you. And now over time, you'll see a cause and effect patterns, right? So when I sleep, for example, 7 hours plus, my hunger drops. Or when I hit 10,000 steps, I lose 1 pound a week. Or when I skip check-ins, my motivation drops, right? And so over time, by just simply keeping track of these things, you'll notice trends that, okay, whenever I do these specific behaviors, it leads to this result. Whereas whenever I don't do these behaviors, I don't get these results. And so what should I do if I want to get the results? I should probably do more of these behaviors and less of these behaviors, right? And this is a really individual thing unique to you that only you can identify for yourself, right? So this is one of the biggest hacks that, once again, I use personally, and you can start implementing right away as well. And now here's how this applies to business and life. So in business, the exact same concept applies. Tracker calls booked, messages sent, revenue collected. In your relationships, track maybe time invested, communication quality, habits that improve connection, and then when it comes to so that is that. So tracking turns life into a system. And I don't know about you guys, but I like systems. I like knowing whenever I put in X amount of work, I get Y in return back, essentially, right? So predictable outcomes instead of emotional guessing. Absolute hack. Going to point number 6, the process of optimization. So here are the 4 steps. Step 1, track and collect the data. Number 2, review and then identify patterns. Step 3, refine and then remove friction and amplify what works. Step 4, repeat. Create a self-improving system. This turns progress from random luck to repeatable success. Now here's why most people don't do it. They think tracking is too much. But the truth is, not tracking is the real work. It keeps you stuck repeating the same mistake. Because just by logically thinking about it, if you just take the added effort to keep track of your stuff, you're gonna get to your goals a whole lot quicker, as opposed to you not tracking your stuff and just leaving things to chance. Like, number 1, you don't actually know if it'll work. And then number 2, if it did work, you don't know why it worked, right? And I would rather know why certain things work and why certain things don't, so that I can do more of the things that allow me to improve and less of the things that don't allow me to improve. So tracking literally takes 2 minutes, but can save months of wasted efforts. The discomfort of tracking equals the price of awareness. I tell my clients this all the time, but be a scientist of your own body. The Barbarian method isn't about guessing, it's about data-driven domination. Every rep, every meal, every step, every check-in builds a blueprint for long-term success. So start today, track one key metric in your health, in your wealth, or in your mindset. Review them weekly and ask what worked and what didn't. And then adjust accordingly and watch your results compound. Just remember this, success doesn't leave secrets, it leaves clues. So hopefully you guys took something out of this live stream, but I can guarantee you that if you just keep track of your stuff, just anything that you want to improve, and you notice that by tracking a specific thing led to a specific outcome, specifically a successful outcome, all you have to do now is just repeat those actions, repeat those steps. Success leaves clues. Please, 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 hopefully you guys understand this concept, because it has absolutely changed my life. Like I said, not just in fitness, but in my business too, and in my relationships. Just a quick example off the top of my head. If you notice that every single time I take my partner, my girlfriend, my wife, whatever, to this restaurant, it leaves me, or it always ends up to us having a great time, and it leaves us having fun at nights, for example. I don't know, just a really random example, but you can start to identify these gaps or these behaviors that leads to the desired outcome that you want. So I'm done rambling, but hopefully all this made sense. If you guys do have any specific questions for me, feel free to DM me on Instagram. The handle is at Kotarski. The link is in the description as well. And if you need help losing 30 to 50 pounds in the next couple of months, all without sacrificing your favorite foods or spending hours in the gym, you can go ahead and schedule a free consultation call with me down below, where we'll essentially go over your current goals, we'll go over your current struggles, and create a game plan together to help you absolutely crush them in the next couple of months. So with that out of the way, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.